just a while, but at the moment, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu is addressing the Legislative Assembly of Mizoram. So let's go across state and listen to him.
Honorable Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, Sri Pu Zoramatangaji, Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, leaders of various parties, Honorable members of Mizoram Legislative Assembly. I am really delighted to be here in this beautiful state, this beautiful assembly. This August House. This is the highest lawmaking body and truly epitomizes our democratic principles and ethos. I, being not only as the Vice President, but as the Chairman of the Upper House of India, I feel happy whenever I go to any state to meet the legislators, and particularly to address a state assembly. I would like to thank the Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister, Ministers and all the members and party leaders of the Mizoram Legislative Assembly for giving me this opportunity. At the outset, I convey my greetings and my best wishes to the people of Mizoram. I was told that this year is the 50th anniversary of the Mizoram Legislative Assembly with the Golden Jubilee celebrations slated to be held in May. I congratulate all the members, the past and the present of this August House on this historic occasion. It is a happy coincidence that this year we are also celebrating 75 years of independence as an independent nation. Your Assembly's Swarna Mahotsav and the country's Azadi Ka Amrita Mahotsav celebrate India's remarkable progress in the democratic journey. 50 years ago, Mizoram became a separate entity and started its journey as a union territory and later became a full-fledged state of the Union of India on the 20th February 1987, becoming the 23rd state in India. I am especially pleased at the way Mizoram has deepened our country's democratic roots by peaceful electoral process, graceful conduct of legislators in the assembly, and sustained inclusive development endure over the last 5 decades. We need to recognize the exalted place that lawmaking bodies occupy in the public perception. It is indeed the sacred place where people's voices are articulated and heard, where their hopes and fears are debated, where the laws that protect them, foster their growth and enable fast-tracked national development are formulated. It is gratifying to note that the sessions of this House are conducted with the utmost discipline, diligence and decorum. You have indeed upheld the trust, hopes and aspirations that people have reposed in you as their representatives. I was going through the different phases and also inquired about the functioning of the legislature. I am really very happy about the performance of Mizoram legislature. I congratulate all of you in setting a high benchmark that the other state legislatures and even the parliament can emulate. As I told you, being the chairman of Rajya Sabha, I preside over the upper house. But sometimes Unfortunately, when things go out of the way and there is too much obstruction, we feel unhappy. I feel pained as the chairman of the upper house when disturbances take place. In democracy, legislatures are meant for debate, discussion, and decision, not for disruption. In Parliament, in Assembly, you have an opportunity to articulate your views, to discuss the proposals made by the government, differ with the government, and have a meaningful debate so that the government also can be benefited, the bureaucracy also can be guided by the valuable suggestions that are made by legislators from this side or that side. So that's why I tell my parliamentarians, I tell legislators in different parts of the country, because when I see disturbances in certain legislatures, happenings even during governor's address or during presentation of budget, and disturbances occur, it pains me. I tell the people, please, if you want to articulate your views, there are two ways. Either talk out or walk out. Don't make a breakout, because it will make all out of democracy. This has to be, I am saying this not for the legislators of Mizoram. I am saying this for the legislators of the entire country. When I say something as Vice President, the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, it goes and reaches to people in different regions. That's why. And I always maintain, let the government propose, let the opposition oppose, let the House dispose. That should be the approach. Then the people's aspirations are heard, respected, and decisions are taken by the legislature. That's why I congratulate all of you in setting a high benchmark that other state legislatures and even the parliament can evaluate. Mizoram has demonstrated the power of dialogue and peaceful settlement of disputes so essential in a democracy. The signing of the historic Memorandum of Settlement between Government of India, Government of Mizoram and the Mizo National Front in 1986 ended more than 2 decades of unrest and strife and ushered in peace and progress. Peace is the prerequisite for progress. If you have tension, you cannot pay attention. This has to be understood by one and all. So all of us who are all part of this great country, we must all work for peace. And peace brings happiness. Peace brings prosperity and also happiness. The peace accord has served as an example upon which similar peace agreements have become a reality in the other parts of the northeastern region. You must be proud that Mizoram today is not only counted as one of the most peaceful states in the country, but has embarked upon the developmental journey with a rare earnestness. This is ultimately what our constitutional makers have dreamt of. They wanted our country's governance to be responsive to the needs and aspirations of the people and resolve differences through peaceful democratic conversation. I must congratulate the people of Mizoram for their total involvement, which gave an extraordinary momentum to the political process, as a result of which the state witnessed the restoration of peace and order. It is quite remarkable that your state has had peaceful elections right from the first state assembly elections in 1987 to the recent 2018 election. Significantly, I am told that there has been never a single instance of coercion or booth capturing in the history of Mizoram. I am very happy to note that your state has taken the laudable initiative of strengthening grassroots level democracy. As well, the Honorable Governor, Dr. Haribabu Kamampati, has informed me that regular elections have been held in the state at local levels in a peaceful, harmonious environment with the active involvement of the church, the non-governmental organizations, and the civil society. This is truly a tribute to the character of the people determined to enhance the quality of the country's democratic ethos. Mizoram occupies a special place in my heart. Its rich history and splendid cultural diversity, its rolling hills, lakes and rivers, and breathtaking scenic beauty have always held enduring appeal for me. It is indeed commendable that you have carefully nurtured and preserved this fascinating mosaic of ethnic and cultural traditions over the centuries. Warmth, generosity, gentleness, kindness, and compassion are defining and enduring attributes of the Mizo people. I feel greatly enthused and inspired when I visit northeastern region. Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi has often spoken about the strength and possibility of the region and the immense collective potential it possesses. Truly, the 8 states, Astalakshmi, as some have called them, are the pride of our great nation. The Prime Minister Narendra Bhai, while pronouncing the Actist policy in 2014, underlined that northeastern region would be its fulcrum, and this region would emerge as an effective growth engine for shared benefits. He further stressed that culture, commerce, and connectivity and capacity building would propel this policy. I always say, and I believe, that we must respect the nature. Nature, culture, together for better future. That should be our approach. Mizoram occupies an area of strategic importance in the northeastern corner of our great nation by virtue of being sandwiched between Myanmar in the east and south and Bangladesh in the west. Within the renewed activist policy of the Government of India, Mizoram is set to occupy the center stage as it will serve as an all-important gateway of Southeast Asian economies into the region as well as into the country. I am confident that in the coming years, Mizoram will become a fulcrum in the region's growth and development through the important Kaladan multimodal project, which when completed will transform the economy of not only just Mizoram, but the entire northeastern region and help accelerate economic growth and development. Even though Mizoram was a late starter in the developmental process as compared to other northeastern states, I am extremely pleased to note that the rapid strides being made by this important state towards socio-economic development with completion of several infrastructure projects. This kind of transformation is clear evidence of resurgence, what I had earlier called NER in NER, NER in NER, which means the new era of resurgence in the northeast region. The COVID-19 pandemic has tested our nation's strength and resilience. I am told that Mizoram continues to be among the hardest hit states. I am happy to note that Mizoram has been able to fight the pandemic effectively due to the untiring efforts of communities, churches, community-based organizations. This unique model based on the Swarmangana, the Mizo Code of Ethics and Life as the guiding principle has been the mantra of Mizoram's fight against the pandemic. The synergy of collective efforts has apparently contributed to low mortality and low hospitalization rates. Mizoram has exemplified the essential dimension of democracy in its recognition of making development people-centric and empowering people to become active agents of positive change. The truest measure of a progressive state is the welfare of its people and their development. It should be the effort of the government to ensure that the benefit of growth reaches all sections of society. The poorest of the poor, they should feel happy that they have become partners in the developmental story of their state and the country. I'm happy to learn that the state government professorship program, the Socio-Economic Development Program, SEDP, which seeks to bring about socio-economic development that is inclusive and people-centric. It is heartening that the latest Sustainable Development Goals, SDG India Index 2021, Mizoram has improved its ranking from the 21st position in 1920 index to the 12th position in 2021 index. It's remarkable progress. I congratulate all of you, the government and all of you, for this remarkable progress. The resources and assets, where they are agroforestry based resources, particularly the bamboo-rich resource of the state, the river resources, the congenial weather must be harnessed in all possible ways to make sustainable development a reality. Under the leadership of the able Chief Minister, I am sure that the state government will achieve its SDGs. Mizoram's impressive track record has enabled it to draw upon a substantial support from the union government and various agencies for its developmental endeavors. Center, state must always work together. State and the local bodies, they must all work together. Because this unity, with regard to development, that will really help to accelerate the developmental process. This is evident. The central government allocation of funds to the tune of 600 crores in the union budget this year for two important projects under the newly announced Prime Minister Development Initiative for Northeast scheme. These two projects, construction of Aizwal bypass, Mulangatu for rupees 500 crores and 100 crores for the pilot project for construction of bamboo link roads at different locations in various districts in the state, will go a long way in boosting the state's economy and securing livelihood for many people. I would like to emphasize crucial importance of physical infrastructure, particularly transport infrastructure, as a key prerequisite for economic development. I am aware that the state government is focusing on this, and I will encourage them to continue their efforts. I am happy that certain projects like Champhai, Jokwatar Road, Trabang, Kavapuche and Sumkum Chote Road constructed with World Bank Fund and Setship Bairpui Road constructed under the Asian Development Bank were completed last year. I am told that the construction of the broad gauge line from Bairabi to Sihmui near Aizwal is making good progress. I had an occasion to see it when coming also. Once it is completed, it will open up new growth avenues and usher a new era of progress and development. Along with infrastructure development, you are quite appropriately focusing your attention on agriculture and allied activities like horticulture and floriculture. In Mizoram, like many parts of the country, agriculture is the main occupation, and some of the major festivals like Mimkut, Chapcharkut and Polkut in Mizoram are connected with agricultural activities. Agriculture is our basic culture. It has to be strengthened. Development of agriculture is essential for bringing about overall prosperity and attaining food security. Sustainable agricultural practices must be encouraged and promoted. In addition, Mizoram has a great potential for expanding horticulture and floriculture. Orchids and arthuriums, for example, can not only generate additional income to farmers, but also make Mizoram a favorite tourist destination. The Anthurium Festival and the traditional festival of Chapcharkat, which you celebrate just week, can also help the promotion of tourism. Mizoram is blessed with rich forest resources which need to be preserved and protected. We have inherited a beautiful planet, and it is our moral duty to leave enough resources for our future generations. This requires an attitude of caring for nature, avoiding wasteful consumption, and increasing the use of renewable sources of energy, namely hydroelectricity. There is a lot of scope for this. Solar and wind and biomass. This area should be focused more and more. Mizoram has great scope for small-scale industries based on bamboo and timber products, agro-industry, handloom and handicrafts, as well as medicinal and aromatic plants. The beautiful Mizo shawls and the pawn of different designs reflect the weaving skill of the Mizo woman. Your state indeed richly endowed with natural resources, and you are nurturing human resources well through education and health. I am happy to note that Mizoram attained a literacy rate second only to Kerala among the states. With their highest literacy level and English language skills, the youth of Mizoram enjoy a distinct advantage. This talented large pool of human resources is today scripting Mizoram's development journey and of the nation as well. I always feel that we must promote our mother tongue. You will be able to articulate better, our children think and articulate better in their mother tongue. I always say, mother tongue is like your eyesight. Other languages are like spectacles. If you have eyesight, spectacles will work effectively. Learning English is good. It will be useful. I suggest to the children, first promote your mother tongue. Because the world is opened up. Opportunities are many, number of places. So, when we move out, we must be able to understand and also speak their language. But here, at home, within ourselves, we must converse in our mother tongue. That is my appeal, not only to Mizo people, but also to the entire country. While we have steadily strengthened our country's democratic fabric and have set a shining example of ideal democratic traditions, I thought there are few areas of further improvement that you may take note of. 2 days ago, on 8th March, the world celebrated International Women's Day. It was an occasion to recognize that our development strategy must fully involve women. Their participation in all walks of life can accelerate development and make our developmental process more inclusive because they constitute 50% of the population. This also is in keeping with the central principle of a vibrant democracy where each person has equitable opportunities to grow and contribute to the growth of our country. An issue that I would like to flag is the representation of women in legislatures of our country. It is generally perceived that women enjoy a better position in the socio-cultural and political matrix of this region, given its cultural ethos. But I find the representation of women in the legislative assemblies of the northeastern states is on the lower side. While the assemblies of Mizoram, Nagaland do not have any women members, it ranged from 2 in case of Manipur to 5 in the Tripura Legislative Assembly. Of the total 498 members in the 8 legislative assemblies of the region, there are only 20 women members constituting only 4%. There is a strong case for involving more women members in the law making in the region. Even in the parliament, women constitute only about 11%. There is a scope for increasing it and improving it. I sincerely hope that in the years to come, women will get elected in considerable strength to this assembly also. You also may like to examine if the assembly sessions should also be planned over a reasonable period of time so that there is enough time to deliberate, discuss, debate, and finally decide. Comparatively, you meet more when compared with some of the other states. I hope that all state legislatures, all across the country, and also parliament, they must meet more often, discuss issues, and then take decisions. More sittings of legislature and more constructive debates are very useful. The legislatures, including that of Northeast states, need to meet more often and for longer duration and devote themselves to lawmaking, ensuring an accountability. With ample natural resources and a conducive atmosphere, the close-knit Mizo society can aspire to become one of the most prosperous states in the country. I am touched by the warm welcome and colorful reception you have accorded me today. I would like to thank the Honorable Governor, Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Ministers and MLAs and leaders of parties and the Government of Mizoram. The Honorable Governor of Mizoram has been a long-term friend, right from my student days, and colleague. We have worked together in public life. I am happy to visit Mizoram while he is here. I once again convey my greetings and good wishes to each one of you, honorable members of this August House, and all the people of Mizoram for your dedication, hard work, and your untiring efforts to make your beautiful state into one of the most prosperous and peaceful states in the country. Let us continue to work as a team India, capitalizing on each other's strengths with the ultimate aim of transforming the lives of our people in this region. We should not only make people prosperous, we must make them happiness. Happiness. That is very important. As we celebrate 75 years of development, independent India, Azadi Ka Amrita Mahotsav, we must resolve, take a Maha Sankalpa, a pledge to strengthen the grand democratic tradition of our nation. We must ensure that our state assemblies and parliament become effective instruments for shaping the new India with all our dreaming of. We want a strong, stable, peaceful, prosperous, happy nation, where there is no illiteracy, where there is no poverty, where there is no social discrimination, where there is no regional discrimination, where there is no gender discrimination. We would like to see and work for such a strong, stable, and happy India. Our democracy is one of the oldest and the largest in the world. So let us make it the best. Jai Hind, Kalo Mein.
So you heard the Vice President